Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here to the Trust Your Intuition Masterclass. I am excited that you're here to join us. Say hello, hello, hello in the chat. Tell me where you're coming from on this fine Saturday morning. Well, it might be afternoon if you're over on the East Coast, or if you're over on the other side of the pond, then we're looking at like evening. So, all right. Let me just stop sharing for a second here. All right, there we go. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we start. I am recording this. I will have a replay. So if you're watching the replay, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for checking out the replay here. We're going to go about probably an hour, just depending on how many questions you guys might have after, we're going to do a live Q&A at the end too. So if you have any questions, I'll be available for that as well. And we're just going to dive right in. So I welcome you to be here, be present, and just enjoy. Like this time is for you. This is for your soul. This is for you to just honor that divine guidance, your inner voice, your higher self, to awaken and open up and begin trusting in your intuition. All right, so you're going to see me here. I'm going to kind of go in and out. I've got a slide deck. You might see me on video. I might stop sharing. So I just kind of go with the flow. If I just kind of start channeling stuff, I might get off of the slide deck and then just start riffing, right? But I do have my notes because I do want to stay on point as well and honor your time. So if you do see me looking down, it's just because I'm making sure that I'm not going off on tangents because I got a lot to share. All right, so let's get into it. All righty. Okay. All right, so today is all about trust your intuition, the 3 keys to confidently receive divine guidance for a soul-aligned life and business. So in this masterclass, I'm going to show you how you can make the ultimate shift from second guessing your inner voice, feeling afraid to take action, and uncertain if you're hearing the right guidance, to accessing your intuition on demand for greater clarity, aligned opportunities, and overall abundance. And then if you stay with me all the way to the end, I do have a little surprise for how you can receive a private one-on-one session with me too. So let us get present together. So this is a time just to turn off all distractions, allow yourself to be here. And then I'm just going to open up with a meditation because that's what we do. So let me just stop sharing for a second here. All right, so if you're in a place that you can close your eyes, then I invite you to do that. If not, you might just kind of want to bring your gaze down to the floor and just let yourself be here. Again, this time is for you and your soul. So let's just kind of take a little quick meditation so that you and I can be present together, and for me to just be in service and for you to sit here and receive. All right, so again, if you can, to just close your eyes. If you're not able to, you can just bring your gaze down to the ground. And let's just take in a nice, deep cleansing breath in together. And breathing out. Deep breath in. And breathing out. And again, deep cleansing breath in. And breathing out. And as you take in a deep breath, just allowing that breath to honor and awaken, activate your intuition, your soul's knowing, because that is always, always within you. And as you take in another deep breath, just breathing in this presence. And as you breathe out, just letting go of the morning so far, any kind of running around you may have been doing, and just letting go of the past week, allowing that to be released through that out breath, breathing in and allowing yourself to be present and receive. Just giving this moment, giving this next hour, this next time together, just to give it to you. You know, you deserve it. You deserve it. And then just breathing in divine light, breathing out divine light, breathing in joy, breathing out joy, breathing in abundance, and breathing out abundance. Another deep breath in. If you want to expand your body and stretch, and just anchor in your root and be here and enjoy and let us have fun. So, gently opening your eyes. All right. I'm ready. Are you ready? If you're ready, say hello in the chats. And yeah, if you feel like you want to say hello, let me know where you're coming from, where you're coming in from. I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona, in the desert, and it's going to be a hot one today. So let's get back into all the wonderful intuition magic. Okay. Feet. Oh my gosh, we've got feet. She is in the house. Lakewood, Washington. Lizzie, welcome, welcome. Happy you guys are here. So happy. All righty. So, are y'all present? Let's go. So tell me now, I feel like everyone has their own, pull to be here. I don't believe in accidents. I believe in divine appointments. So in wherever your reason is, you might be here because you know you have an inner voice inside of you that you no longer want to ignore because you've done that too many times in the past, right? Or you might be here because you want to deepen your connection with your body, mind, and soul in order to create more fulfillment, joy, and abundance in all areas of your life. Or you might be here because you want to live your life to be a divine expression of who you truly are with clarity, confidence, and do so unapologetically. So, which one are you? I've got a little poll. Let's put the poll up here. Are you number one? Stop ignoring your inner voice and letting fear get in the way. Are you here because you want more joy, fulfillment, and abundance? Are you here because you want to be in your full divine expression with confidence and be unapologetic about it? Or are you all of the above? Are you here because you want it all, right? Like you're guided to be here because all of them speak to you. All righty. We've got a lot of all of the aboves showing up. Oh, yep, we've got more all of the aboves. Awesome. I totally get it. I am with you on the all of the aboves. I feel like I am one to not want to ignore my inner voice. I've done that way too many times before. I know what happens when I do that, and it's not good. And then, of course, joy, fulfillment, abundance, purpose, all of that, right? Like we can't get enough of that. I feel like I can't get enough of that. And of course, I want to be my divine self expression. So it looks like everybody here is all about number 4, all of the above. All right. I love it. I totally love it. Okay. So now, in case you are brand new to me, welcome, welcome. My name is Christina Ambabuyag. I am the creator of iloveintuition.com. And this is on the picture on the left is my husband and I. We were just in Cancun, Mexico to be there for one of my best friend's weddings. And I don't know about you, but with this pandemic, it was a little bit nerve-wracking. So we were able to stay safe and like do all the protocols and all of that, and we had a ton of fun. And then the middle photo is of me speaking on TEDx stage in Las Vegas on the power of your intuition. And next picture is also me teaching art classes on the streets of Las Vegas. So I love teaching expressive arts classes, although I haven't done that in a long time because of COVID. So I'm looking forward to getting back to those expressive arts classes. And really, the focus of my work is supporting and serving and guiding leaders, heart-centered business owners, creatives, coaches, healers, mystics, those of you who are called to serve like with your gifts and really want to do so in a aligned, authentic, and soulful way. Now, this is me back in 2007 when I was a art director, after school art director. And then you can see I was doing a mural for the kids, and the kids helped out with painting the mural. And during this time, actually, like I was teaching at this after school program, and I was the art director for the program. And for 5 years prior to that, I really lived in the psychic closet, right? Like I've been doing intuitive work. I've been doing energy work since 2003, 2004. But it was one of those things that I didn't really share with the world. I was afraid of what people would think of the work that I was doing, and I would only share it with the people that I felt comfortable with and I felt like they wouldn't judge me. Okay? It's like, I don't know. If you're an intuitive or you feel like you're doing some of the spiritual work and you're kind of like, I don't know what people are going to think. But that's how I was. And so I was still doing readings and healings and was more just like on a small scale and like telling people about it. And fast forward to 2007, and I was working as this after school art director. And it was during that year where I would start getting sick every other month. Like I would come down with a cough and cold. I would be like, okay, well, maybe it's just the kids, they get sick and like kids are spreading stuff around, right? Like that was the thing. But then it wasn't until the New Year's Day of 2008, literally, I woke up on New Year's Day of 2008 and I had no voice. Like I couldn't even whisper. Like it would be like, nothing would come out of my mouth. And it was like that for a week. And I knew I was being guided to just like be quiet and shut up and just listen. And so during that time, I really tuned in on what is it that I really want, because I wasn't that happy at the after school program. I loved working with kids. I loved doing art, like teaching art. I love that stuff. But there was like something in me that was bubbling up and wanting more. And so when I got really quiet and I tuned in on my own guidance and I just kept hearing that voice, it was just like, do what you feel called, like do what it is that you love. And so that's when I started really claiming like being an artist, doing this work that I do. And then from there, like I just jumped in full time into doing readings and healings, and then ended up in, about a year later, I got my certification in spiritual and life coaching as well, and truly just sort of just followed my guidance, and have been in business since then, and just like really, really trusting in my soul and my calling, and coming into the place where through that process, being again guided to share these tools, right? To share, how do you touch it? How do you tap into your intuition? How do you receive that guidance? How do you ask the right questions? How do you manage your energy, right? So all of that has evolved, and it's constantly this place where I'm like checking in, tuning in. What's my next step? Where am I being guided? What's divine? How is divine speaking to me? And where is it that I can create? So through that time, since then, I've given literally thousands of readings and healings to clients around the world. I've supported individuals to heal from abuse, financial struggle, grief, creating loving relationships for them to live their purpose, create jobs, as well as like starting their own businesses. And then I also, again, I work with a lot of soul-centered leaders, creatives, coaches, healers to help them elevate their business, land their dream jobs, publish books, make more money, like just do all the fun things, right? And it's one of those things, again, like I feel like one of the things that I most sort of like my most, I don't know, I feel so good about is just like my ability to stay centered, my ability to trust my intuition, my ability to use my intuition in all areas of my life, right? Like it's just not for business, it's for relationships, it's for my health, it's for you know, having a difficult conversation with someone and what am I feel guided to say, and being able to move through tough challenges, because life is always going to throw you a curveball, right? And so how do we move through those places where we're feeling like completely overwhelmed, but we're staying aligned with our soul? And so for me, it's like I have this fierce faith and a trust in my capabilities, in my visions, in my desires, and to like really follow through on that guidance. And I think that's something that's really, really important to, it's not just like intuition, oh, is it a yes or no, answer. It's really about like, how do I stay aligned to my soul and like move through life in a way that feels clear and sovereign and free, and really connected and like in full trust with source. So Lizzie, that's a great question. Is there a way to stop self-doubt? Yes, we're going to talk about some of that too throughout this this class. But then I can also come back to that specifically, like where are you struggling? And we can talk about that on the Q&A too, because I can help you through that. All right. So can you imagine making decisions that truly come from your soul and having the clarity and focus to create a life that is divinely aligned to you? I hope that is a yes. Because if you're here, you can't imagine it, right? Like you can't imagine it, because I know that you've had that experience in your life before. I know you've had that experience of like when you make of having a vision and having this clarity and like feeling like, yes, that's what it is that I want, and like, and truly coming in from your soul's knowing. Like, I know you've had that experience before, and it might be something that's really tiny and small, and that's okay. We want to amplify that. We want to open up more to that space within ourselves. Okay, so let's dive right in. So strengthening, trusting, and taking action on your intuition is the most powerful way to create a life and business that is true expression of your divine gifts for overall abundance, peace, joy, and purpose. I truly believe our intuition is the gateway to our soul. It is how we speak with spirit. It is how we dialogue with the just sort of being in connection with the oneness of life. And when we open up this place, it's just like, wow, the magic and the miracles, the things that happen. And when we are tapped in and tuned in, and really most importantly, we're following through on that guidance. All right, so let's see, where are we going today? We're going to talk about, number one, we're going to talk about energetic sovereignty, okay? And I'll talk more about what that is. We're going to go through clearing the roadblocks to your intuition. So that self-doubt, Lizzie, that you're talking about, right? We're going to talk about give your intuition a voice. And I'm going to walk you through a little exercise that we're going to play around with today. And then the exercise is take a trip down memory lane. So we're going to go through that, and that's going to help just kind of activate that inner voice within you. And we'll also go over what it takes to boost your confidence, right? Like what it takes to confidently take action on the guidance that you receive. And then I'll also share how you can work with me. So if you feel like you want to take a next step, I'm going to offer a way in which we can do that together. And then we'll have a live Q&A as well. So I am here, and Q&A is like what I do. So if there's things that you need help with, I'm here for you. Alrighty. Welcome, Carlette. So happy you can be here too. Yay. All right. So key number 1 is cultivating energetic sovereignty. Okay. So what is energetic sovereignty? I define energetic sovereignty as having ownership of your energy. It's to be able to rule your world from the inside out. So having energetic sovereignty of your space is key to intuition development because your physical and spiritual body are made up of energy. Okay. So this is your aura. Okay. We have 7 layers of our aura, and your aura contains your energetic field, right? And everything outside of your aura is like all the things that are happening outside of your field. And then we've got a nice delineation, which is about 3 feet around us. So if you put usually about arm's length or 3 feet around you, front, back, side to side, up and down, is where your energetic field is. Okay. And so when we have energetic sovereignty, we have ownership, not just of our physical body, but of our field all around us. And so why is this important? It's because there's so much energy that's coming our way, right? And whether that's another person's energy, whether that's, things that are happening around the world, right? And also it could be things that are like lodged in from the past. We might have stuff that's like from the past that's stuck in our aura. And when we have all of these things within our auric space, including thoughts and old beliefs and outdated patterns, it can create like confusion. It can create like a fog, an energetic fog around us, right? So your aura can also get enmeshed with another person's aura as well. So your thoughts can be hijacked by another person's thoughts. It can be difficult to figure out your own intuitive guidance because you're going to have to like sift through all of these things. Okay. So here's all of the stuff and more that can start swirling around inside your auric field and inside your body, inside your chakras too. So we've got resistance and confusion and negative thinking and family beliefs. We've got self-doubt, other people's fear, other people's opinions. We have cultural spells, cultural beliefs, right? And all of that just creates energetic confusion. So when you have energetic sovereignty, it's like, no. This is your space. You have ownership to your space, right? All of the other stuff can live outside. That's totally fine. And you want to have ownership of that because then you don't have to sift through all that energy. You are a clear and divine channel for guidance and for you to tune in without having to be tuning into your mom's thoughts or tuning into your best friend's opinions because she doesn't want you to do something because she's afraid for you, So that's why that energetic sovereignty is super important. Because here's one of the things is that fear is one of the biggest blocks that I see that keeps us from trusting our intuitive guidance, right? And fear can show up as all of these things, as resistance and confusion and all of that. So one of the things is that we don't want to make decisions out of fear. And I was doing a little bit of research, and I'm just going to look at my notes here, is that there was some research that shows that 80% of our choices are fear-based. 80%. Can you, like, I was blown away when I read that 80% of the choices we're making is out of fear. Like, that's just not cool to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, that's not fun. Like, I don't want to keep making choices out of fear. And it's like, what would that be like if we were to make choices out of joy, out of our soul's knowing, out of trust and faith and creativity, right? And abundance, and not out of fear. Because if we're making decisions out of fear, what's happening is that we're really lacking the confidence to trust ourselves, right? To trust in our intuition in terms of like, what is it that we really, really want for ourselves? And these fears, a lot of times they're not even ours, right? Sometimes they are, right? Like there's some valid fear that we might have, 100%. But a lot of times these fears are just like, they're coming from other people. They're coming from old beliefs. They're coming from what the news is telling us, you know? They're coming from stuff that your second grade teacher told you about, you know, and said like, you're not a good artist because you don't know how to color in the lines. You know what I mean? Like all of that stuff. And that, all of that starts like acting up in our energetic field. And then we make decisions subconsciously within that. And then we're just activated, right? Like we're making those decisions out of fear. And I don't want that for you. I know what that's like, you know, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. Like there's some times where I am making decisions out of fear. You know what I mean? Like, and I have to really come back to myself and being like, okay, I am in a place where I'm triggered. There's fears coming up. I'm hearing a lot of things, and I have to just like tune in, clear that out of my field, right? You want to clear that out. You want to have that sovereignty, and then find that true wisdom and that voice within. That's like really that divine truth inside of you. So, how do we create energetic sovereignty, right? So, it's really through energy management. And this is one of the things that I feel like is the number one thing when it comes to learning how to strengthen your intuition, you know, because there's so many ways to do it, right? Like we can do exercises and you know, practice sort of like skill building exercises, which is 100%. We want to do that too. However, before we get there, we want to make sure that we are managing our energy. Otherwise, we're going to look like this. And then we're going to be trying to skill build and do these exercises and still have all of this stuff in our field, right? And it's like we're trying to sift through all of these energies and we don't have that clear space to really tune in. So energy management truly is like something that I feel like nobody really talks about in terms of how you stay attuned, how you receive that divine guidance, how you take care of your soul and what your soul truly needs. So, let's see here. Another thing is we want to practice psychic hygiene and psychic self-care, right? And that's really under the umbrella of energy management. And psychic hygiene is really looking at doing energy clearing work for yourself. So you're working with your chakras, you're working with your aura, you're making sure you're clearing. If you're an energy healer, right? Like if you practice Reiki or do any kind of modality that helps to like move and shift energy, that's all part of psychic hygiene management, Okay. So, and I know that a lot of people here, they're healers. Like you guys, a lot of you guys aren't like brand new to this energy thing. You've dabbled in it somehow. You've received healing somewhere. You know what I mean? Like you've probably listened to some meditations. All of that is super valid ways of how we want to practice our psychic hygiene. Another one, which is like number one personally on my list, is for energy management is meditation. I have been meditating for like a regular practice for about 17 years. And so that started in my early 20s. It really started as a child because my dad would teach me how to meditate. My dad's like, he was a yogi in the Philippines and he does energy healing work. So, and he meditates and he's in martial arts and all this stuff. So like even as a child, he was teaching me, but really my own like real developed practice and like devoted practice to meditation happened in my early 20s. So I've been doing it for like almost 2 decades. And um and it's one of those things for me personally, and like I teach meditation, right? So where you get quiet, right? Like there's just so much noise. Like back in my early 20s when I was doing this type of work and doing intuitive work, like there wasn't this much noise. Like we didn't have social media and we didn't have all of this stuff that like bombarded us 24/7, right? And like really in the past 5-10 years, like that has amplified so much. And so the energetics of what we are dealing with, um from a sort of communication and energy and like all the things that are going on is so much more amplified that I feel like meditation is like it's like where we can find that solace, where we can have that quiet time where we can commune with our soul and we can really, really tune in. So, and also I do practice specific kinds of active meditations, right? So we've got the meditation where we're just really sitting and breathing and receiving. And then we do have active guided meditations where you're actively doing clearing work, where you're actively practicing energy management. So one of those, and I want to just share a practice with you so that you can, just take 5-10 minutes every single day, and it's super duper easy, right? So closing your eyes, taking deep breaths, connecting in, and then grounding yourself down into the earth, creating that presence and that anchor, right? And then like breathing in divine light, allowing the light from source, allowing the light from spirit to like flood you, to shower you, letting that move in through all your chakras, letting that move in through your aura, allowing it to clear out your space. Okay. And so that you can, again, have that clarity. You're not having to sift through all the things. So just doing that like 5 minutes a day and sort of sitting in that grounded, present, allowing spirit to just flow through, allowing that to open you up is super duper powerful. Okay. So, and really like, I know a lot of people are like, I struggle with meditation. It's really hard. My mind's just racing. I get that. My meditations are very different every single day. There's some days where I can just like land right in and I am like in this real quiet space. And then there's other times I'll be in meditation and my mind is like going 100 miles an hour. And it's like really hard for me to even like focus on my breath. Right. So I feel like, in my almost 20 years of doing meditation, like it's different every day. Some days are easier, some days are harder, but it's a practice. And the more you really practice, just the more that you can kind of attune and call back. But really, it's that place where you get to commune and have that quietness within your soul so you can actually hear yourself, right? You want to be able to hear yourself. So, I wanted to share with you one of my wonderful um, clients and students, Shanice Hurst, who's a counselor and energy healer. And she is someone who is like really highly sensitive. How many of you are highly sensitive? If you're highly sensitive, put your hand up in the chat. Like, tell me yes, that would be me. I feel a lot, right? And so as a healer and counselor, yes, Carlette's like, yep, she got the hands up. I got 2 hands up. Yes, absolutely. Lizzie, totally. So Shanice is somebody highly sensitive, and she's also a counselor, right? Like she works as a counselor and she's also an energy healer too. So she would work with a lot of like trauma, people having trauma and like things that are painful and like hearing them. And that would affect her. Like she started taking that energy on. And when she started practicing energetic sovereignty, she started using tools to ground, center, protect her energy, clear her field. She was able to support others without draining herself. And I think that's so super important, especially when we're doing this kind of work in the world, or we're just somebody who is like on this spiritual path and we're constantly in a place of being able to see, right? We can see, we can feel, we can tune in. So whether you're in service and supporting others or just even your family around you or with your children, like we can take a lot of that pain on. We can take a lot of those emotions on. And so it was nice where Shanice like really got to turn that around. So she was no longer drained in supporting other people, hearing their problems, helping them work through their stuff. And then from that, like her intuition became even stronger, right? Because now she's not taking on the stuff. Now she's not processing the pain for them. She's being a present guide, a present soul who can hold space, right? But doesn't have to take on. And when we're not taking that on, we're able to, again, tune into that guidance and support them in that best way that they need. So she's able to have more peace, happiness, and she was sharing how she's experiencing less anxiety and less worry as well, because she's able to, again, have that energetic sovereignty, practice those tools, as well as using her intuition to continue to guide her. And Carlette said 2 hands and a foot. I know. Yes, Lizzie. Oh my gosh. I feel you for sure. And then we've got Natalia. So Natalia, another sensitive soul, another intuitive soul. But she didn't know how to manage it, right? Like, I don't know if you're one of those people who are like, I receive guidance, like I have these psychic hits, I might be having these dreams, or I might be like around people and I can feel all the energy that's going on. And it's a little bit overwhelming. It's like, oh my God, this is too much. So because she was taking on all the things, she was receiving all kinds of psychic information, she was super sensitive, didn't manage it, she started to shut down. Like she started to hate her feelings. She didn't want to be sensitive, right? And she didn't want to listen to her intuition because she was mad. She was like, I don't want all this stuff. Like I'm receiving all this stuff and I don't know what to do with it. And it really bogged her down to start taking in all of that stuff, right? Where it's just like, I don't want to be sensitive. This is too much, and really, I believe our sensitivity is our gift. Not everybody's sensitive. It seems like, everyone's sensitive because I'm so sensitive. No, like not everybody is sensitive in the way where we can intuitively and energetically pick up information. That doesn't happen for everybody. Well, it does happen for everybody because everybody's intuitive, right? Like everybody can feel energy. But in terms of saying like being sensitive and having that running for you and activated online, that is a superpower because you are somebody who is a compassionate, awakened, aligned soul who is able to feel, right? Who's tapped into their emotions, who's tapped into the their um depths of their feelings, right? Which is such a beautiful thing. But when it's unmanaged is when it becomes overwhelming and it's too much and we shut down. Okay. So for Natalia, what we did is like we worked through her energy, right? Like I taught her how to create energetic sovereignty, how to own her space, right? How to own her gifts and her sensitivities and actually leverage that instead of shutting down from it, instead of shying away from her sensitivity. And so what's been beautiful is that she's been able to transform the energies of her home. So her family life, her relationship with her husband. Now she has 2 kids and they're so cute. Before when I first started working with her, she didn't have children. But again, that was part of her guidance. She felt guided to have children. She knows she's been creating that. She's been able to show up more as herself without being overwhelmed by her highly sensitive ways, right? And then she's been able to use her intuition, use these energy tools within her business management career, within her writing career as well. So it's been nice to like see her from completely like, no, I don't want to deal with these energies to like owning it and being like, no, this is who I am. I can use my sensitivity as a superpower. I can tune into my guidance as a superpower, and I can show up more fully as me and embrace this part of my sensitivity too, which I think is so important. All right. So, key number 2 is give your intuition a voice. All right. We want to give our intuition a voice because giving voice to your intuition is recognizing that spirit has been in dialogue with you this whole time, right? Like you are always receiving guidance. Your intuition is always on. And so we have to speak it. We have to honor it. We have to give space for it because it's already there. So I want you to remember that you are already intuitive, okay? Oftentimes we forget this. We forget that we have an inner voice, or we've dismissed it a lot of times, that we no longer trust it, or we might have felt like we tuned in our intuition and then maybe took us like a wrong direction. And then we're again untrusting of it. But you as a soul are already intuitive. It's just that we haven't been grown up with ways to strengthen it. We live in a very logical society where everything has to be proven in order to be true. But if you look back at ancient cultures, intuition, spiritual healing, having shamans and guides and counselors and energy healers, that was all part of the way that society functioned. It wasn't like this, you know, witchcraft or whatever. It was people came to these healers. They came to receive these guidance. And all of that is activated in each and every one of us. So you are already intuitive. So I want to walk you through our exercise. We're going to take a little trip down memory lane, okay, to help you remember this part of you, okay? So, so just taking a moment here, okay, if you can, closing your eyes again, if possible. If not, you can just bring your gaze down. Okay, so let's just take in a couple deep breaths. And I want you just to look back at your life And whether it's the last year, maybe it's the last couple weeks, or just any time in your life. And then just choose one moment that you felt, heard, or intuitively knew or picked up on something that you trusted and you followed through on. So you had an intuitive nudge, you trusted your gut, and you went with it. And it doesn't have to be something big, right? It doesn't have to be like this momentous situation. It could be as simple as like, hey, I thought of my friend, and then an hour later, she texted me. Okay, so just give yourself a moment to just choose one time. That's it. Now take that one moment and reflect on the messages and insights that came to you. So what did it feel like in your body? What did it sound like for you? How did you receive that like insight or nudge? And if you can bring that sensation, that knowing up for you, just notice, okay, where is that activated in your body, in your physical body? And then expanding that a little bit more. Honoring that intuitive guidance that you had trusted in before. And then letting this remembrance of your intuition anchor in stronger in your body and in your aura, in your chakras, and in your entire being. All right. Okay, so just taking in a couple deep breaths in, opening your eyes. And if you feel free to share what came up for you, something that had happened where you trusted your intuition, like what it felt like, how it showed up for you, you can share that. But here's what I want you to do is take this exercise and then do it 4 more times at least. So find 4 more other times in your life where you've had that nudge, you've had some guidance, you received it, and remember that space. Okay. So I'll just share with you one of my little hits that came in recently. So my best friend, him and his wife were pregnant, and not this past Friday, but like 2 Fridays before, I woke up, literally woke up, and the first thought was the baby is here. Like, so for me, it came in as a thought, right? So my claircognizance was activated. It was this thought. And I was like, the baby is here. I was like, oh my God. And they weren't due for like another week or something, like a week or 2 weeks or something like that. And then around, I don't know, like 3 or 4 o'clock, I get a text from him and he's like, the baby is here. And I was like, the baby is here. So I love that. I was really excited about that little intuitive hit. And here's the thing, like we want to remember these, right? Like we want to make sure that we're tracking these intuitive hits. And one way that you can do that is have an intuition journal where you're just like writing these things down. And so you have evidence, you have remembrance, you're giving voice to your intuition. Okay. You're opening up that dialogue and you're activating that and just being in that communion with your soul at all times. Okay. But make sure that you go back into that memory lane and remember, how has it been activated within me? Expand that even further, open up to that guidance even more. Okay. All right. So key number 3 is intuition is a verb, right? Here's the thing. Being able to receive intuitive guidance is actually the easy part. It's not really that hard. The hard part is actually taking action, right? It is being able to follow that guidance, being able to course correct, being able to tune in. Okay, what's that step? Okay, next step, you take it and you follow through on that guidance that you receive. And why is this the difficult part? It's because our brains like repetition. Okay. It wants to know what it knows. It wants to be certain. It wants every single step figured out. It wants the whole life map. Okay. But we don't got that, you know? So when we receive intuitive guidance, sometimes it may seem illogical. Again, sometimes might not like make sense to us, to our our brain. And that can hold us back, right? From trusting. That's where that self-doubt comes in. Like, is it really what I'm hearing? Are you sure? Like, is that the direction I should go? Then we start to question it because we don't have like that certainty. If I were to follow this guidance, like this is what's going to happen. And that uncertainty is what keeps us spinning in that self-doubt and in that fear and in that inaction. Okay. So action is actually how you build confidence. And it's an interesting little like conundrum in a sense, right? Because we want to feel confident in that way. We want to feel confident to trust our intuition, but in order for us to trust our intuition, we have to take the action so we can build the confidence to do so, right? And we can do that in those baby steps. But here's the thing. The more that we have energetic sovereignty, the more that we're understanding the nuances of our energy, what is mine, what is somebody else's, the more we're having more confidence within our space too. Because we're able to really tune in on like, oh, that's my field. That's not my field. That's my intuition. That's not my intuition. That's my voice. That's my inner voice. That's not my inner voice, right? So we want to be able to like tune in to that guidance as well through that energetic sovereignty and creating that space where you can take action. So, one of the things that I really love and I'm like really, really passionate about when it comes to strengthening our intuition is be able to take action, right? It's through experiential learning that we build that confidence. We have that understanding of how our intuition works because it's so nuanced for everybody, like we only will know how our intuition is operating within us when we're like tuning in, receiving it, we take action and we look for that feedback on how it's showing up in our lives. The more that we do that, the more we trust, the more we're following through, the more we get to see the results of our guidance and that nuance of your skills. And then you get to strengthen and refine, and it just becomes like so freaking fast. Like it literally becomes like it's just a part of you. It almost gets to a point where it's like, wait, is that just like I guess that's my intuition, like it's so just a part. Like that's how I am right now. It's my guidance is so a part of me that it's like it takes me 2 seconds. Like I ask question, boom, there it is. So it's not enough to just learn about intuition, right? You got to practice it. You know what I mean? Like you really, really, really have to practice it and you really have to take action. And again, these don't have to be like big decisions. Like you can use it on small things every day. And that really is the best way to start is to build a little bit of that self-trust and you build it in throughout your day. And then it's like you can expand that and use it to, tune in. Like I've used it for moving and like finding a home and, just like bigger decisions that I feel like can have a lot more weight on it. We don't always start there. Okay, you don't have to start there. It's easier to like really tune in on smaller things and then build up that confidence. All right. So, Aditi, we're talking about intuition and action. Okay. So, Aditi is the queen of the action on intuition. So when she first came to me, she was very, very lost. Like she didn't know what direction she wanted to go. She was in a career in corporate and like that she was unsure about. And then she was also in a relationship that she wasn't clear about too. So with her, we worked on she took these tools, learned how to work with her energy. Again, energetic sovereignty. She was able to manage her anxiety, manage her nervousness, and then able to better trust her intuition and be confident with her decisions. So shortly after, she moved to a new city. She joined a graduate program, all based on her intuition, which were like very, very risky for her. Like these were really big decisions, especially moving to a new city where she didn't know anybody and she was moving away from her family. And then now she has her own business. She does wellness coach speaking and training. And just really supports people in like living like a really stress-free and nourishing lifestyle, right? Like a lot of self-care, a lot of wellness. So it's one of those things that, again, it wasn't just like, oh, here's the guidance. That's great. We got to take action, right? We got to follow. We got to trust it and allow it to open us up into like new opportunities and really step into those parts of us that are feeling called, embrace that and move forward that. And I love Aditi because she's really, again, came to me at that place of just like, I don't know what I want to do with my life to tuning in, getting clear, trusting, and boom. And she's doing it. Okay. Janice is another one of my beautiful client students that I've been working with, who took Ignite Your Intuition as well. And she is somebody who came to me and she just wanted to trust herself more, right? Like she was already someone that, she knows that she has intuition. She knows it's alive in her. However, she has a lot of like overthinking. She's constantly overthinking things. She has a lot of anxious thoughts, a lot of fears that can come up that'll take her out and get her like spinning and unsure. And then through Ignite Your Intuition, she was able to decipher her thoughts and feelings and understand exactly what is her intuitive guidance. And then since there, she started a little side business. She's in corporate, and she's used her intuition to move into a couple new roles, as well as that align with her soul gift. So she's able to express her purpose through her career, as well as increase her salary. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Like, who doesn't want to make more money, right? So that's been something that's been really exciting, is to sort of see this trajectory of her in like, again, energy management, like the overwhelm, the overthinking, the fear, the anxious thoughts, like, oh my gosh, what should I do? So many people telling me all these things, to tuning in, getting clear, following through, right? Like moving into a new job, using her intuition. Does that feel good? Is that aligned? And, increasing her earning potential too, right? Because she's owning her soul. She's owning her soul. So I believe that no matter what you do, who you are, we all have our intuitive guidance. This part of us that connects us with our soul's knowing, this part of us that we can dialogue with the divine and with spirit, and the guidance to just be in full trust and faith. And not just for like good things, right? And this is one thing that I feel like is important to talk about. It's like when we have that sovereignty and trust in ourselves and we have clear guidance, like we can use that guidance to navigate through hard things. And I feel like that's the part that we can easily take us out when we're having life challenges, when we're having situations with our families, when we're having, I have I don't have children, but clients, when they're having situations with their children, and how do they best manage their energy so they can support them in the best way and guide them in the best way. When we're having like upheavals in our business, right? What direction do I take? We won't want to be like this, aha, what do I do? No, we want to be grounded and present, aligned and trusting and tuned right in. So that feels so good because we're in this place of everlasting peace and faith that like carries us, it like moves mountains for us. So do you now see how applying these essential keys to trust your intuition can elevate your life and business? Hi, Thief. Good to see you. So you are already intuitive, right? Your soul, you have a divine guidance that is here to show you, to guide you, to protect you, to elevate you. And really, it's a matter of, again, managing your energy, learning to tune in, clearing all the energetic garbage and confusion, all that trash. We don't need that, okay? And we want to take action, right? We want to practice. We want to embody it. We want to be in relation with our soul, with our spirit, and with life in general, okay? So now I know that you took the time to be here, and I don't believe it's by accident. And I believe in divine appointments. So we can always continue second guessing our intuition, holding ourselves back, or we can commit to strengthening your intuition with a proven process to help you get there. So I want to invite you to Ignite Your Intuition. This is my signature program, something that I've been teaching since 2009. And it's been on hiatus for the past 5 years, and I'm bringing it back. But it started right from my living room in Las Vegas, 10 people huddled up together in my tiny living room, learning all about strengthening our intuition, okay? So Ignite Your Intuition shows you exactly how to strengthen your intuition through experiential, action-oriented exercises proven to help you make authentic decisions, attract abundant opportunities, tune in and receive divine guidance, and confidently trust in you. So by the end of Ignite Your Intuition, you will experience energy tools for energetic sovereignty, right? To clearing out those blocks to your intuitive guidance. I have meditation practices that help you focus your awareness, increase calm, and sharpen your psychic abilities. You'll learn how to ask the right questions so you receive the best answers. You'll also experience really being able to discern between your fears and doubts and thoughts, right? Like I remember Jan came to me, and Jan, she was just like, I'm overthinking. I don't know which is what. And like Ignite Your Intuition was a game changer for her because now she's able to have that discernment. That's a fear. That's a doubt. That's this person's thought. That's my guidance, right? And then I've got chakra activation, psychic hygiene tools, energy alchemy tools. All of these are guided experiences for you. And then it's a step-by-step process. So everything that you learn is cumulative. So you learn how to tune in, you receive the guidance, and we get to play. It's all about play, okay? So everything that you get is you get Ignite Your Intuition. There's 6 modules. We've got transcripts and audios and meditations and energy alchemy tools. And then we have 6 weekly calls too, okay? So they're live Q&A calls. It's not a webinar style. It's literally we're on the phone. You talk to me, I talk to you, and we tune in. So if there's situations that are going on in your life and you're needing support, you need to customize the tools for yourself. Like all of that is going on, okay? So, and I also have a guarantee. So you have 7 days. If you feel like it's not working for you, just show me what you did. And if you're not satisfied, you get your money back. All right. So there's also some bonuses too. And number one would be living your purpose and deepening your intuitive guidance. So that's just another bonus training. We've got bonus number two, which is intuition for relationships. So how are we tuning in on the relationships around us? And then we've got another bonus where we're clearing patterns that sabotage success. So what does it cost? $333. That's it. If you want to come play with me over the next 6 weeks, you can start with a full payment of $333. I do have a 3-part payment to make it a little bit easier for you guys too. So that would be $111 for 3 monthly payments as well. Now, you can head over to Ignite Your Intuition, and that'll take you to iloveintuition.com/ignite. And I put up the little link up there. So hopefully you guys see it pop up, which can show. And then I can put the link in the chat too. So you guys have that as well. But it's one of these like amazing, fun, playful programs over the next 6 weeks. And we get to really, really dive deep on helping you strengthen trust and then also take action. Again, it's like that practice so that you can really embody your intuitive guidance. And that's such an important piece that I want you to receive and experience together. Okay. So if you guys feel like you're feeling called and it feels aligned for you right now and you want to like jump in, I do have a bonus, like as long as we're live right now. If you do sign up while we're on the webinar in the masterclass, you can get a free intuitive reading with me. So this is an hour long. I do have a soul purpose reading that I do. Well, actually that's 75 minutes. So the soul purpose reading where we look at your divine gift, and we do a Akashic clearing work as well. So if you feel guided, I'm going to throw that in for you too. Okay. So let's just share all about Preeta. So Preeta, she's a singer and songwriter, an amazing soulful artist in Australia. And she took Ignite Your Intuition. She was unclear about her path. And then now she just has more vibrancy, more clarity. And what was really fun was that she won a music business scholarship that she's been wanting to do for ages. So she won that during the course of Ignite Your Intuition that kind of like manifested as she was like having that energetic sovereignty, right? Like owning her space, owning her desires, what it is that she wants, tuning in. And it was really, really fun for her to like share that with the group and like have that activation happen. But she's definitely somebody that is, sharing her music and really honoring her soul in such a beautiful, profound way through her gifts. So again, it is 3 payments of $111 or 1 payment of $333. So I just want to walk you through how it works here. So when you go into the information page, there's going to be a link that says enroll now. And then you can choose, right? So you have the option to choose which payment plan. And I wanted to point out, see the arrow here. When you sign up, it's going to ask for your username and a password. Okay, so you're going to choose your own username. You're going to choose your own password. Make sure you write it down. You're going to get an email that shows the password anyways too, but just write it down too. And then that's going to give you access to the membership site. You're going to get an email. It's going to say it's from Groove Member. Okay, I'm using a new platform. So it's from Groove Member, and it's going to say, welcome to Ignite Your Intuition. And it's going to have the link for login. It's going to have the password that you make, and then you can dive in. So once you dive into the program, you're going to see this welcome video. That's going to be there. The program does start on this Monday. Okay, so we start this Monday. The live calls are on Thursday at 5 o'clock Central. I might switch them and like have some daytimes too, but currently that's the time. So just kind of depending on the group that we have, like I'm open to, honor people and their time frame too. So I might switch that up, but currently the live calls are on Thursday at 5 o'clock Pacific. And then if you're not able to make the live calls, then you can also submit your questions and I'll make sure that you are 100% answered. Like these live calls, like nobody's left behind. Okay. Like I stay on as long as everyone needs it. Right. So, so that's going to have, this will have the little welcome video here that you can dive into right away. And then the modules are going to be dripped to you week by week. So they will be released on Sundays. Well, the first one will go out on Monday, but like from there on, it's going to be released on Sundays. And then you'll have them week by week. So I don't bombard you with all the information at once. And the reason why is because everything that you're learning is in a cumulative manner. Okay, so it builds upon what you learned before. The energy tools build upon that. Like I've created this course and consulted in a learning designer for this course so that you can receive the best learning experience. Okay, so that's the way that it is sort of, you know, how we're going to go through the program together. So you'll get the trainings, you'll listen to the guided energy alchemy tools and the meditations. You'll want to practice that. We come on the live calls, we troubleshoot. Okay, I support you. We customize it based on like what you're experiencing with the tools. We play, we take action, we receive the guidance, and like we build up from there. So it kind of starts off as like, here's some basic tools, and then we start opening up to more advanced techniques when it comes to tuning in on your intuition and opening up your psychic, you know, having like psychic empowerment tools for your life and for your business. Okay. So that is Ignite Your Intuition. And again, it is 3 payments of $111 and 1 payment of $333. You can go to iloveintuition.com/ignite. So I totally welcome you and invite you to be there. Would love, love, love to have you. So Lizzie, I'd love to, but can't right now. Oh, that's okay. I totally understand. If it's not the right place, like, you know, like I trust that you will trust your guidance, right? To feel called and when the right time is for you. I do want to also say, I've had a couple people who were like, oh, I can't because it's busy right now and all that. But I just want you to know you do have 1 year access to the program. So I had a couple of people who were kind of just like, oh, I don't know if I can jump in right on Monday. And I'm like, you got 1 year access. You can, which gives you plenty of time to go through, you know, the 6 different modules and to play with all of the tools. So that is also available to you as well. And I also want to say, like, I consciously, intentionally choose to have it as 1 year access because I want you to go through it, right? A lot of times we might have, you know, forever access to a program, which is great. And I've done that before. But then sometimes it just sits on the shelf and it becomes shelf help, right? Instead of actually taking action on the guidance. So that's why I put a timeline on it, because I want you to dive in. Like, I want you to embody these tools. Okay. All right. Carlette says, yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. That would be wonderful. I totally get it. I love a budget. So definitely add this in there for sure. So if there's any questions, we can just open up for Q&A. So if you have any questions on anything that I've shared in the class, any questions about your own guidance, your own intuition, you know, feel free to ask in the chat. I'll stay on just to see where you're at. Now, if you don't have any questions, I'd love to hear what you received. Like, what is your takeaway from this class today? What are you receiving today? And what are you celebrating today? Oh, thank you, Carlette. I'm so glad that you're here with us. So, so glad. I'm going to take myself off of this slide. There we go. Yeah, I'm so glad you thought it was a great class. I can go on and talk forever. So I'm glad I keep notes with me because I could talk about this stuff for too long. So, okay, so it looks like there isn't any questions. I'm just going to start closing up today's class. So I just want to say thank you. Okay. Oh, Carlette, I'm wondering about the meditation part. What would you say is the main thing to get good at meditating? Oh, I love that question. Okay. Start small. Start short. 5 minutes. 5 minutes a day. Literally set a timer, Carlette, and like 5 minutes a day, and just give yourself that. Let your body get used to sitting, tuning in, like having the quietness, and then move up from there. So sort of tune in. You might want to do that for a week and see where you're at. Okay, I've done 5 minutes a day for a week, and then maybe you want to bump it up to 7 minutes, or maybe you want to do 10 minutes, and then you can go from there. Another thing that you can do is, so one thing that I love, and so many meditation teachers teaches as well. Like this is not like, something that's like my thing, but is literally like come back to your breath. If you find your mind is wandering, right? Like you might be sitting here meditating and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I was just thinking about, that vacation, and all of a sudden like 5 minutes gone by and you were in this daydream and like, oh, and thinking about your to-do list or going over some conversation that you had, right? Like, so you weren't really meditating, you were just like processing stuff. Bring it back to your breath. Okay. So the minute you notice, thinking about all those things, like go back in, like follow your breath, because your breath's always present. Your breath is always in the present moment. So if you just like, oh, there goes my thought. Okay. I'm going to release that thought. I'm going to anchor back, and I'm going to follow my breath in, and then follow it out, and then follow my breath in, follow it out, and then just, then you're like coming back into that present and back anchoring back into your body. And then you can, sort of create that space from there. So that was my next question. I always end up on random thoughts. Yeah, it's a thing. Totally a thing. One of the practices too is to, if you're having a lot of random thoughts, then you can see it as like clouds floating by, right? So they're just like, instead of being in the thought, or like, oh, I'm going to take that thought and I'm going to think more about it and I'm going to follow it into the next thought, right? It's like, oh, there's my thoughts. And you might just like even visualize it as like, oh, there's a thought that's just rolling by the sky. And I'm just sitting here and breathing and just kind of like letting it do its thing instead of being in it and following the thought, right? So then that gives you space between you and that thought instead of it being in you, or like you're in the thought. I hope that makes sense, like having that space. So that's one thing you can do. Sometimes what I do, like if my mind is just like so active, right? Like I might be tired, or I just might have like a, kind of an overwhelming day, and my mind's just like, oh, sometimes what I'll do is I'll like just kind of talk it out, right? Like for me, it's easy for me to talk it out. So I'll just be like, okay, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about that. And it's just like letting all of that just go until it's like, okay, let me just kind of quiet myself down, like slowly bringing myself back. So I might just sort of like verbally vomit the thoughts out and then create space for me around that too. So those are, I know, I have all kinds of ways. So just, you want to just kind of play with it. But I always find like bringing ourselves back to our breath. And this is what I do when I'm doing guided meditation. So when I do like meditation classes and live meditation classes and I'm guiding a meditation, I always tell people, I go, if you start zoning out during the meditation and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I'm in a meditation with Christina and she's guiding and talking, I completely missed the past 10 minutes. Like, who cares? Just bring it back to your breath. Okay. And so another thing is you don't want to have judgment, right? Like you don't want to judge yourself. So if you find like, oh my gosh, I'm like, my mind is going, 20 miles an hour, like it's fine. Like, don't judge yourself, because you judge yourself, you create resistance, and it just creates more static between you and being able to meditate. So just have that compassion and love and being like, oh, there I am thinking about going on vacation, let me get back to my breath and then go back there. You don't want to beat yourself up because it doesn't make it fun for you. So I hope that is helpful. And I'm so glad you asked that, because that is something that is, everyone struggles with when it comes to meditation, especially when, they're starting to start off and wanting to incorporate more in their life. It's something that can be inhibiting for people. And I think that's another thing is people get, they don't want to continue practice because they're just like, oh, it doesn't work for me. And it's like, my mind is getting too much and this and that. And it's just like, yeah, I don't think that a meditation necessarily is for everybody. Like, I feel like everybody does have their own ways, right? But for me, like, I am like such a firm believer in it, right? And it's not even just, I mean, of course, like now they have so many studies on how meditation benefits you, but for me, it's like, it's less about some of that type of stuff and more about like, it's my space to commune with my soul and with divine. Like, that is just heavenly space for me. So yes, totally. Absolutely. Yeah. You want to connect with your higher self and spirit. Yep. I totally get that. Like that's where I do it. And we do that every day. We do that no matter what we're doing. We can do that on a walk. We can do that, cooking, right? Like we do that when we're helping people. We're constantly communing with spirit. But I love the sacredness of a meditation, like the quietness of that and just knowing it's just me and my soul and source. Like that's just so nourishing. And it really like helps to open up to that guidance and to receive that and to hear that and like work through that, sort of like embody it even more into your space, for sure. So thank you, Carlette, for asking that question. All right, guys. So I'm going to leave you to it. Thank you so much for being here. Again, I invite you and I welcome you, and I would love, love, love to have you join us for Ignite Your Intuition. Again, that's iloveintuition.com/ignite if you'd like to join us. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, right? Like if you feel like, I don't know, I'm not really sure, is it going to work for me? Is it the right time? Shoot me an email. Okay, I'll put my email in there. Shoot me an email, info@iloveintuition.com. If we need to hop on the phone, we'll hop on the phone. We'll figure it out. Is it right for you or not? Sometimes it might not be right for you at this time, and I'll let you know that. All right. So again, we start on this Monday, the 30th. Get excited. And I'd love for you to join if that feels aligned and you feel called to that space. So you guys, thank you so much for being here and like spending your Saturday. I really appreciate that and I'm grateful for that. And I want to, just give you a big aura hug for just taking the time to be here. All right. So this is not the end. We'll be in connection. And if you need anything, do reach out, and you have a beautiful, magical rest of your weekend. I will talk to you soon. Bye.